She dared everything. In a besieged city on the edge of annihilation, a resolute widow rises to act while leaders waver. You will witness how one courageous plan meets an enemy general and brings salvation to a people. This is the real story. Judith is a respected widow in her 30s. She lives with quiet piety and fierce resolve, known for prayer and charity. In a desperate city, she becomes convinced that God calls her to brave action to save her people. Holofernes is a fearsome general in his 40s, commander of an invading army. He conquers cities by terror and offers brutal terms. He believes victory is a matter of might, and he underestimates the quiet strength of a resolute people. As the opening ends, the siege tightens around the city. Supplies fade, and the leaders meet with fear in their eyes. The people ask what to do. The clergy and elders counsel prayer and fasting, but fear paralyzes decisive action. The threat of starvation presses every household. In that moment, the city council debates surrender. Some argue negotiation to spare lives. Others fear betrayal. The elders reveal that the enemy will execute leaders who resist. The people tremble. The crisis forces the question, will any citizen risk everything for the common good? As the debate lingers, Judith hears the city's groans and resolves to act. She prays, asking God for strength and wisdom, and refuses to flee. She knows that as a widow she can go where men cannot, and that her reputation for piety may disarm suspicion. She prepares a bold plan. After that pause, the elders reluctantly grant Judith permission to leave, believing a woman might win mercy from the enemy. They allow her to travel to the camp with provisions. She accepts their blessing, though they worry, because her plan rests on faith and courage rather than military force. When morning comes, Judith travels toward the enemy camp with 2 servants and provisions. She walks with calm purpose. As she approaches, she studies the tents and commanders, learning patterns of watch and revelry. She understands that timing, appearance, and courage must align for her plan to succeed. As night falls, she enters Holofernes' tent and carefully gains his favor. Through measured words and modest dignity, she flatters his pride without betrayal of her people. Holofernes, intrigued and intoxicated by wine and flattery, invites her to stay the night, assuming she is no threat to his conquest. In that very tent, a feast unfolds, and Holofernes drinks deeply. Judith waits, observing his guards and the heavy influence of wine. She knows that soldiers become careless in such revelry. Her strategy depends on single opportunity and swift action before dawn, when vigilance fades and sleep grows deep. When midnight deepens, the camp sleeps, and Holofernes lies drunk across his bed. Judith stands by his side, lamp low, heart steady but fierce. She prays silently, committing the outcome to God. Her hand moves with resolve. She will act to protect her people because no other means remain. As the previous silence breaks, Judith seizes the moment, and with decisive force beheads Holofernes. The act is swift and final. She acts not out of cruelty, but from desperate defense of her city. Her courage is terrifying and holy at once. The camp will soon wake to a leader fallen. When the act is done, Judith and her maid carry the head away concealed in a sack. They move through the sleeping camp and avoid sentries, guided by knowledge of the terrain. Their escape is perilous, but resolve and preparation carry them. Dawn will reveal whether courage can undo fear. As dawn breaks, the maidens reveal the head at the city gate. The people erupt in astonished joy and fear. Leaders who had despaired see hope. The message is both proof and challenge. The enemy is leaderless and vulnerable. The city rallies, emboldened by a single brave deed. When news of Holofernes' death spreads, the enemy camp falls into chaos. Command collapses and soldiers panic. Without their general, the army loses cohesion. Some flee, others surrender. The psychological victory proves decisive. The invaders' terror dissolves into rout and retreat. As the previous chaos settles, the city celebrates deliverance with songs and thanksgiving. Elders lead prayers that attribute the victory to divine help and human courage. Judith stands humble among them, refusing personal praise. The people honor her with gifts, but she accepts only a symbolic robe and public blessing. When calm returns, the elders publicly honor Judith for delivering the city. They bless her as a savior figure and secure her place in memory. She receives modest rewards and spiritual recognition. Her act becomes a portrait of how personal sacrifice and faith can change the course of history. As night returns, Judith reflects on what courage cost her. She knows that bold acts carry moral weight, and that God used her resolve for the people's salvation. Her solitude is quiet but fulfilled. She trusts that history will remember the choice to act when others could not. When the story ends, we learn that Judith teaches decisive faith. God can use a single courageous person to bring salvation when human plans fail. Her act shows that prayer and bold moral action together can turn despair into deliverance. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one.